Hey guys, so this happened a little bit ago, but as you can probably guess, it's not getting any mainstream media attention, so I'm going to give it some of my not so mainstream media attention. A district attorney in San Diego is actually finally going after Antifa. This is from the press release. DA charges defendants responsible for violent Pacific Beach incident. Prosecutors say groups affiliated with Antifa organized from Los Angeles and from San Diego to carry out violence on 16 victims. San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stefan today announced multiple felony charges against 6 of the 8 people arrested in connection with the violent criminal acts committed earlier this year during a demonstration in Pacific Beach on January 9, 2021. Charges against the defendants include conspiracy to commit a riot, illegal use of tear gas, assault by means likely to produce great bodily injury, and vandalism. If convicted, the defendants face a sentencing range of probation up to 10 years and 8 months in prison. The defendants who appeared in court today were Louis F. Mora, 30 years old, Joseph Gaskins, 21 years old, Martin Talab, 27 years old, Jeremy White, 39 years old, Brian Riviera, 21, Brian Lightfoot, 25, Jesse Cannon, 31. A readiness hearing was set for December 15th, and a preliminary hearing is currently set for December 17th. The remaining 2 defendants will be arraigned at a later date. An outstanding arrest warrant exists for the 9th defendant. The defendants are self-identified to be affiliated with anti-fascists or Antifa, and in this case organized into 2 groups, one originating from Los Angeles and the other from San Diego. The defendants began organizing on January 2nd, 2021 for what they referred to as a direct action against a demonstration to take place on January 9th, 2021 in Pacific Beach. Evidence gathered in the investigation shows that Antifa members' reference to direct action means acts of violence such as assault, battery, assault with deadly weapons, arson, and vandalism. In other words, domestic terrorism. On January 9th, the crowd of self-identified Antifa, many of them dressed in all-black clothing, commonly known as Black Bloc, and wearing Antifa memorabilia, gathered at the Pacific Beach Pier to counter a political demonstration that was referred to as a Patriot March in support of the former president. The group wearing all black arrived an hour prior to the scheduled beginning of the Patriot March. The group gathered and began to march up and down the boardwalk. On at least 8 separate occasions, approximately 15 to 20 members from the counter-protesting group, Antifa affiliated, broke off and surrounded perceived members of the Patriot March group and attacked them using impact weapons and mace. At present, there are 16 known victims. At one point, a line of 20 to 25 protesting individuals advanced on a smaller group of 4 people from the Patriot March, yelling obscenities at them and screaming for them to run. One member of the group, who was dressed in black with her face covered, pulled out a can of pepper spray and sprayed it in their faces. The smaller group was attacked with chairs, sticks, glass bottles, full alcohol beer cans, and closed fists as they were chased down the boardwalk. The Antifa-affiliated group surrounded several miners, who they believed to be attending the Patriot March, sprayed them with mace, and chased them up the boardwalk, shoving one of the miners to the ground. The miner was surrounded and beaten, resulting in the miner victim being taken to the hospital and treated for a concussion. In addition to assaults on those participating in the Patriot March, there were collateral victims, including a dog that was maced. I'm going to say right now, if you're fucking macing a dog, you're a piece of shit. Seriously. Was the dog a fucking fascist? Like, oh my god. Ugh. A journalist attempting to take photos, a business that was vandalized, and assaults on police officers. Video and evidence analysis shows that overwhelmingly the violence in this incident was perpetrated by the Antifa affiliates and was not a mutual fray, with both sides crossing out of a lawful First Amendment expression into riot and violence. The San Diego Police Department declared the event an unlawful assembly and demanded that the protesters disperse. The counter-protesters threw bottles, eggs, rocks, and sprayed at the officers with mace before the crowd was finally broken up. SDPD, working with the district attorney's office, investigated multiple allegations of violent criminal conduct. As a result of those investigations, on December 2nd, search and arrest warrants were served throughout Los Angeles and San Diego counties. As in every case, the district attorney's office follows the rule of law, bringing charges where the evidence supports it beyond reasonable doubt, regardless of the political orientation of crime victims, as the right to peaceful protest must be protected. When peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters were assaulted in Lemon Grove, the DA's office brought felony charges and obtained felony convictions. Anyone who is a victim of the incident who hasn't spoken with law enforcement may contact San Diego at the email here. A copy of the criminal complaint filed in this case is attached. So this is a big deal because now somebody's finally prosecuting Antifa and referring to Antifa as a thing rather than just trying to pretend that they're not. And specifically going after a whole lot of them. This is causing all kinds of problems for Los Angeles Antifa, and of course they're doing their best to try to fundraise to get out of jail. I'm sure if I talk to Mary Todd about this, I'll get even more details on this case. But this is kind of a big deal, folks, because up until now, everybody's just pretending that this shit isn't happening. And I want to reiterate, bear macing a fucking dog? Oh my god. Of all the things that would just get me to take a stick to somebody, I'm like, just come on, man. Anyway, that's why I can't go to protests anymore. Aside from being like basically paralyzed. So yeah, this is was in the San Diego Reader, and that's how I got my hands on the press release. And I'll link all of this to you guys in the description. So this is good news, guys. And when district attorneys stick their necks out to do stuff like this, we need to support them. We need to start holding people accountable for not for not going after people who do this shit. So, in an announcement tomorrow night, I believe around 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on Good Logic's channel. He was one of the many lawyers who was involved in all the Rakita law streams for Kyle Rittenhouse. He was gracious enough to invite me on his show because he wants to talk about my original documentary. And he, I guess, is going to be covering the Joshua Zeminski trial. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm sorry that I've been gone just a little bit. Took a little bit of a break to get my brain oriented, and I'm still researching that documentary I was telling you about. That's going to take a while. There's a lot of papers I have to read, but it has to do with why this form of protesting, not just the protesting, but the kind of activism that we're engaging in actually encourages racism, encourages sexism, encourages homophobia. It literally has the opposite reaction to what they want. And that's not just my opinion anymore. There's apparently like a stack of scientific papers that prove this. And that's the thing I'm currently working on. Originally, I thought that was going to be a brief video, but it turns out it's actually going to be a very long video. I was trying to put together a panel today to discuss another case where this guy basically, what happened is 3 jurors in a jury wouldn't convict this black man of murdering a woman. He tied her up and stabbed her 20 times. And they said, well, we just can't put a black male in jail, so we're not going along with that. And so they quote unquote compromised on manslaughter. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What? And so one of the jurors actually held out at the end, went towards the part of the end of the trial when they're saying, asking each juror if this is their verdict. And she said she couldn't do it. And as a consequence of her saying, no, this is not my verdict, I don't agree, as soon as they got back in the jury room, the 3 jurors that wouldn't convict this guy all threatened to beat her up. It was kind of crazy. And this is all in the political climate where Jussie Smollett is apparently still innocent, according to Black Lives Matter, and Kyle Rittenhouse is apparently guilty, according to Black Lives Matter. And they're still trying to, fundraise to get the Waukesha Parade massacre murderer out of jail. They're sending a very clear message. And the message is, if you're white, we want you to go to jail. If you're black, we don't. Guilt or innocence, optional. So I'm still planning on putting together a panel for that. I'm hoping to get Strategic Eyes, Good Logic, and a few others on it. Maybe Neo Unrealist would be a great conversation. I'll keep you guys posted. So anyway, thank you very much for tuning in today. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share. Make sure that you go and check out my website, which is once again up and running at v-radio.us, where you can find all of my various mediums. I think Odyssey is probably going to be the next best bet, guys. I'm looking at it, and they uploaded my entire stream. I can stream there if I have to. So give me a follow on Odyssey. If you haven't, for the sake of redundancy, that's why I tell people to find me on everything. And as always, if you want to support me on Patreon, PayPal, Subscribestar, you can do that there. I have a Telegram, I have a Discord, I have a Facebook page. You can also check me out just in podcast format. And this is now once again findable at v-radio.us. Thanks again, guys.